Silvopasture, you're finally really eating the hay. It's awesome. This little gal is just a couple months old now. Belen, the black one's baby. She's mostly just been nursing for, well, she's probably been eating hay longer than I realized, because here's Razia Iqbal. Because, you know, they're out here in zone 2, 3, 4, and I'm not out here, you know, I'm out here every day lately, but sometimes not every day. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is zone 3 plus management, where, you know, at scale, we have thousands of trees out here. And, you know, you're not going to see everything that happens quickly enough to catch all the problems from pests or animal pressure, in this case, cows. So this happened, like, I don't know, probably within just a few days. Now, they stripped, like, the nice, of course, it's about the nicest looking apple in this field. There's a few others maybe that nice, but it happens to be the one closest to their hay. So, you know, I should have been on it more, but these things happen. And there's a whole row of apples, and there's a few other rows, 4 other rows. And, you know, they'll probably have killed that one. But what I'm doing is I actually put deer stopper, which I just had around from when we used to have deer problems, on these trees. And they came up right behind me and started licking it off. I put it on my Instagram stories the other day. And that sucked. That was shocking and appalling. They shouldn't like deer repellent. I guess cows do, or these cows do, right at this time of year. Everything's always changing. So I just grabbed what was, you know, most handy here as a repellent. They're crap, and I started putting it on the trees. That deer guard, that vole guard is back. I need to rewrap that, but I'm holding the camera in the other hand. So I started spreading around on the trees, and I think it's gonna be a really good cow repellent. It's fight cows with cows. And I think it might even help keep voles off of our situation here. So here's some more apples here. You know, this is one of the many reasons that overplanting, and so many people are like, why are you planting so densely? And I'm like, I have my reasons, and there's also more reasons than I can articulate. And this is one of those. So look, they're just starting to get on these. They look for the smoothest sections. I should be using both hands, but I'm just gonna film it for a minute. Yummy. Just rub shit all over it. Excuse me. Poop, in case young people are watching. Yeah, that's about it. So I'm so glad I have so much density of trees. I mean, they will have to be thinned, but the thing is, there's pressure, unintended pressure, thinning the trees for me, despite of me, and that's a good reason to have a lot of them. They're really easy to cut down. So if you can, I mean, when these plants are new, they're essentially free. You can raise them from seed or buy them super cheap. These are just rootstocks. I actually just bought them for like $1 a pop as rootstocks, M111 and Antonovka. And then I grafted on them over the first few years, 4 or 5 years. They're getting to the point where they're getting a little big to graft onto now. But so it's a good reason to have too many, quote unquote. Here's an apple, here's an apple. So, and I'm digging them for clients, which wasn't even really the goal. But last year is when we started actually digging like large, like $300 plus trees with my tractor forks. We planted 99 for a client. It paid for this whole system easily, and we dug them in a week. they're worth more than that. I mean, if I was really putting them on the nursery market, I could sell them for more than that if I put them in a ball and burlap. Yeah, we did really well. And 99 out of 99 survived, digging with tractor forks, including oaks and chestnuts. Look at the graft union on this. Anyone know what it is? Big fatty European pear, Pyrus communis on, who's this? Pyrus usuriensis rootstock. These are bomber. I mean, I'm wiping the manure on them because I just have it on my hand. And this is a gorgeous tree. This is like a total specimen. It's what we want every 15, 20 feet in these rows. I mean, again, I'm gonna have to thin because there's a ton of them, but another apple, like that one's never been grafted. Actually, no, that's Pyrus usuriensis. There's an apple right there. Pear, apple. Voles hit this row pretty hard too already. American chestnut, a lot of oaks in the back, another pear. So these things are just really bomb-proof. I mean, voles don't seem to like them at all. Deer don't seem to want to touch them. They're really thorny. When you have the rootstock on them, they're still super thorny. This has all been pruned off, and now this is good to go. Just beautiful European pear. But yeah, so those are fantastic. I don't know that they'll need anything, but you know, I got a lot of manure. And honestly, I think there's probably some other benefits of spreading it on the trees. But the moral of this story here, one of the reasons I just want to make this video is, A, it's a new thing for us. I mean, keeping our own herd of cows through the winter is not something we've had going on much before this year. And just an example of, here, I'm going to put this down low because this should have a vole guard, window screen vole guard. As a good example of going with your gut and like hedging your bets, doing something because well, you've got reasons that you can explain, and you also have other reasons. Maybe this doesn't happen to all of you, but I'm sure it happens to many of you, where you just say, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to trust that feeling. And this was just one of the reasons, but yeah, just wanted folks to have a sense of that, and hope you're all doing well. I think the next trees they're going to go for are going to be these chestnuts because they're really smooth bark, and I've seen voles get them. So I'm thinking vole, like how interested voles are in trees and how interested cows are, maybe somewhat parallel. I think there's certain, whatever makes it attractive for one could be making it attractive for the other. Maybe they're sweeter. Hey Razio, this one's all frozen up. Hey little Iqbal, and they do not like their own poop. Yeah, that's your own poop. It's a nice deterrent. Here we go. Yummy. So, a couple more things. It's safe to say that they are hitting the Pyrus, even the usuriensis rootstock. Here's the graft. A little. That's the most I've seen. I don't know that vole guards are needed for this, but again, better safe than sorry. Better to overdo it than under. They do like the smoother Pyrus communis, so I did just hit a lot of them with manure. And what I'm seeing really is a clear pattern is, think about if you're a cow, which ones you're going to want to strip. It's not just what are tasty, hard to know what's tasty, but it's definitely the ones that are smoothest. So if you can go through and easily with your hands, just rub your hands up and down the trunk, the ones, if you look along the rows, the ones you're going to want to rub your hands up and down the most are the ones they're going to want to strip the most, is what I'm finding. So I just kind of went for all those. This is interesting. This is probably the only example I've seen otherwise, is that a bur oak that's being rubbed. I don't know that they're eating it. Hopefully they're just rubbing it. It looks kind of old. They were rubbing a bunch in the summer. So, you know, I'm just doing triage now. That's what a lot of taking care of trees at this scale or any scale is. Taking care of land in a lot of ways is triage. And so I'm just going for the stuff they're going to go for first. And I pretty much just hit. That's always apples with voles too. It seems to be apples with deer. It seems to be apples for us. Let's see, Berlin is smelling. Yeah, that's manure. That's your crap. You're not gonna want to eat that, hopefully. We'll see. I don't think they generally don't like to eat their poop, so I don't know if she smells the deer repellent on there from yesterday. Poop. I just put so much crap on all these trees. Hopefully she's not going to want to eat that. But they're interested in them. They love apples. So anyway, I'm going for apples, then probably Pyrus euceransis next, or chestnuts. And then, you know, the smoothest stuff, basically red oak might be in there. Hickory. I did rub down some hickories just before. Be really upset if they hit the small number of hickories I have out here, because I only have maybe 15 and I planted 100. We had a very cold winter that first year, so that was a nice test winter. But anyway, oh, and there was one other thing I wanted to mention, which is that some people are going to look at this and be like, well, what are you doing, buddy? Why don't you just put a fence around each row? Yeah, that's a backup plan. It's always been a thought, but it's work. It's something to manage. It's something to keep up with. And I will do it eventually when I need to, if I need to. I think I probably will. I'd give it a 75% chance. But there's values from them browsing the bottoms of the trees. And from a vole perspective, I don't have evidence of it yet, but I have a feeling, strong feeling, that their impact kind of cruising through these hedgerows is really good for the trees. Well, I already know it's good for the trees. They're pooping on them, next to them. They're suppressing the grass. They're eating the grass. They're urinating. They're fertilizing the trees. There's a positive disturbance there, but also related to voles. Swales, probably one of the biggest negatives of swales is that they're vole superhighways. They're like the World Wide Web for voles, high bandwidth. So you loosen all this soil. You create an area that's hard to manage. It's hard to mow. And that's what they love. They're safe in there. So they're punching through with their hoof action, these cows. And I think they're going to disrupt the voles. I think they're indiscriminately probably killing voles. Again, I don't know that yet for sure. But I won't be surprised if I do find evidence of that down the road. Anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Winter is now here. I built that shed solo pretty much a month ago. Took 2.5 days, and then a helper and I put up this in 3 hours the other day. And these are just quick sheds. You know, I have a mill now, so once you have a mill, all this stuff is almost free. I did buy roofing, partly because I'm not gonna be able to maybe get roofing for a while. Who knows? Look at that goodness right there. Steaming fertility. So yeah, just in the process of putting up lots of sheds. I don't think I'll be done until I have like, I don't know, 3 more. And I need enough for hay, enough for cows, for their shelter, and enough for at least my baler. I bought hay equipment, kind of going for it with the cow thing right now. Got to have this much field. And also it's low-hanging fruit from a food system perspective, and with what's going on in the world, kind of got to start pushing on the pedal a little more again. Voles nailed this apple that was here, and then the cows kind of polished it off. But luckily we're overplanted, so we could start filling in the holes. But yeah, I think I will probably run a poly wire. Maybe some point soon here. I just got to watch the trees to protect them. It'll be a lot. It'll be 7,000, well, times 2 will be 14,000 feet of polywire, because there's about 7,000 feet of swale hedgerow. So, hey guys, hope you guys are doing good, and enjoy the day and the winter.